watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
For the community, by the community.
Welcome back to Home Chat, your local show about home, house, and garden. My name is Katja Dunn. I'm your host tonight. I'm a local realtor working for William Ravers. Tonight we will cover a very interesting subject about colors and how it can influence your life and the life of the people around you. I invited a local decorator. Her name is Ilona, and I'm going to ask Ilona to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her business and educate us about colors. Ilona combines design with nursing. Ilona, welcome back. Actually, welcome to Home Chat tonight, and thanks for coming. Thanks for educating us. I'm very excited to hear about colors and to learn about colors. I would like to now, can you tell us a little bit, why did you and how did you get into this business? Because you're not a very traditional decorator, you're going far and beyond. You're very educated about colors, and you're very careful how to design a home if somebody invites you in their home.
Well, Katja, I started out probably in the 1980s when I started designing ambulatory surgery units for hospitals. Same-day surgery, have you heard of that?
I have heard about it, yes.
At the 1980s, it was very new, and I helped design units that put patients and their families at ease by using color and color therapy and artwork. And so that's when I really combined the two. And since then, I've been using color therapy, feng shui, various sciences, I think, soft sciences, in helping people with the design of their homes.
I see. So not just commercial, also in people's homes.
Yes, my business is mostly residential.
Mostly residential. Well, let's get started with some questions. Not just I had, also people who have been emailing us. What can paint do for you? Just very general.
Well, Katja, what do diamonds do for women?
Oh, they love them. Makes them happy.
Well, paint is like the diamonds for your home. It can make all the difference in how your home appears. It can set the mood for entertaining and for living. It can help with sleep, the individuals in a house. It can help with concentration and study. It can make families get along better. If your child has ADD, it can help focus your child. It can soothe a baby and calm a teen down. So it can do all these very important things very subtly that you don't even realize, is happening. Seemingly, it can also correct flaws in your house. If you have a too skinny room, if your ceiling is too high, colors can correct the flaws of your house. It can help or hinder the sales of your house. You'll be very interested in that.
Definitely.
It can help show off your antiques and your collectibles. It can give you prestige. Colors can make you look updated, modern, avant-garde. So colors can do really so much.
Do we have a little time or maybe a little space to talk about colors? Like, which colors would you recommend, for example, for a child with ADD?
Well, for a child with ADD, I would suggest blue, which really aids in focus and concentration. Quiet tones, not too loud. Things that really calm a child down. In one house in West Hartford, we did light blue and dark blue, almost stripes like in a men's shirt.
Yeah.
And the child really, really enjoys that room and can focus and study well in that room. So there were soothing colors. But colors are very, very specific for a person. You really need to get to know a person and a family well before you can make recommendations.
Interesting. So when you say, so you picked blue for that child with ADD.
Yes.
Are you talking about their personal bedroom, or are you talking about the
where they study,
or
or where they sleep? Those are two very important areas. A family room would be perhaps a different color.
Right.
But it's very specific, and you need to get to know about a person and a family, people who live in the spaces that you're designing.
Right. So you usually, when you sit down with your clients, you talk with them, you try to get to know them a little better.
Yes, that's part of a color consultation.
I see. Interesting. So why is it worth the trouble getting it right in the first place?
Well, that's a good question, because if you make a misstep, you can always repaint. You know that. But often people don't know how they're being impacted by colors. Like, for instance, if you paint a nursery a bright yellow, it's been proven scientifically that the child, the baby, the infant, will cry more. Their nervous system is irritated in bright yellow.
Interesting.
So these missteps, sometimes families don't realize are going on, color problems in their house. If people are very... if they have many fights in their family rooms or in their kitchen, they need to evaluate the color of their kitchen and see. Bright yellow, once again, is a no-no.
And you're talking about bright yellow.
Yeah, there are shades, warm, beige, buttery colors that are okay.
I see.
But bright yellows are generally, they make the nervous system excitable and cause tension.
I see. I mean, we're calling some colors, I think people call them like cold colors, right? And then there's the warmer colors, right?
But colors do specific things, like for instance, red can actually increase your temperature, your heart rate, and your blood pressure. And it can increase your appetite. So that's a really traditional color for many dining rooms. You had asked me about that. Why are there so many burgundy and red dining rooms in New England?
Interesting. Yeah, we had this discussion.
Yeah,
I think we were at the time we were planning to paint our dining room. The option was green or red, and we were so excited about this red, and we started painting, and we both noticed, oh dear, this is not our color.
So it's not for you.
It's just not for us.
For you,
And we really liked it in other people's dining room. So we switched to a green.
Good.
And since then, it's very calm. We like to be in our dining room.
Good, good.
Why do colors mean different things to different people?
Well, Katja, everybody sees colors slightly differently. So just
like the dining room, right?
Just like what you said. And in addition to that, probably exactly one out of 12 men are colorblind, as you probably know.
My husband is colorblind.
Really?
Don't tell us.
Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
And 1 out of 20 women are colorblind.
Interesting.
And usually there's different variations of colorblind, but what that means is that you might see greens and reds incorrectly, and then secondary colors, which are made up of primary colors, might be gray. So it really impacts how individuals see colors. Then often couples can't agree on colors, and that might be one of the reasons.
Right.
And color is also relative to our world here in the U.S. When we're talking about colors, they mean different things in different countries. You have to remember that. So there's cultural and sexual biases to colors. There's surroundings, like California colors and Connecticut colors are different. And it's also a learned response. There's certain colors we learn to like here in the United States. Your environment also plays a big part. And there's something called situational induced linkages. Like, let's say you were in an accident and you saw blood. And from then on, you always were kind of upset by red. So you have to learn about all these things when you are making suggestions for color. So you can't just go to a paint store and say, match my wallpaper, because they can do that, but they can't tell you if that color is good for your room and for the light that comes in your room and for the people that live in that room. You really need to take it another step further.
What would be the next step?
Well, you could give yourself kind of a paint consultation. Think about the issues that we're talking about. Evaluate how the room is being used. Think about the mood you want to have in that room. There's really lots of other things that I can go over, I guess, as we talk.
I see. Okay, that would be great. Yeah, it's interesting. You see, I remember another personal story. We painted our bedroom. I wanted to have this Toscana look, and I chose orange.
Tuscan
Yeah,
pepper?
exactly. Yes,
Oh.
and I chose orange, and I loved it. I loved the color. It was very bright, but it gave you this warm feeling. It's made my husband very nervous.
Really?
Completely different impression. So we had to change it. And I think it's really, you're right, it has a different effect on different people. And I think you really need to probably paint one wall, see how it turns out, I guess, before you finish your
We have
room.
these large sheets that I can provide,
Oh, yeah.
and color sheets of a color that you were considering, and you would put it up in different parts in your house, in that room, to catch the light 24 hours a day, so you can see what that looks
see.
like. Because the orange might look great in the morning, but then not so in the afternoon. It changes with the light.
So you wouldn't have to paint anymore. You just hang up the sheet,
Yes,
leave it there,
yes.
and live with it for a while.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
interesting. Yeah, that's wonderful. So why do couples fight about selecting colors? I mean, very typical example with our bedroom. We didn't fight. We just experimented.
But you never really found out why, did you?
No, I think it just had a different psychological effect on him and on me. So we're all different, I assume. That's probably...
Well, sometimes it's just a power struggle, I find. And then I
interesting.
end up being a mediator. Sometimes, really, there's a violent reaction that one of the people has, one of the individuals in the couple has about a certain color, and it may be something like they remember their grandmother's living room being this certain shade of blue, and therefore they love it, or they dislike it because of another reason. Maybe they were punished and they were put into a green room, so from then on they hate green. So sometimes you need to figure out why people dislike a color so violently. That helps in making the other person agree to a neutral color that they can both agree upon. Sometimes one spouse is simply more sensitive to their surroundings. That might be the case with your husband.
Could be,
No?
yeah.
No?
We never found out what the problem was, but we painted. He's a happy fellow now. So.
And sometimes couples have different backgrounds.